And we're back, IGN Live from Gamescom in Germany. Nathan has decided to stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah, I just don't want to leave.
You don't want to go out there?
I don't want to, no,
it's
really comfortable in here. It's really
nice,
scary out
nice.
there.
Super Time Force Ultra.
Super Time Force Ultra, STFU.
I know, I was going to say, I don't know if you guys realize this, but yeah, the acronym.
Yeah,
pretty good.
We're thinking.
So is it a chicken and the egg thing? Did someone notice? You know, STF, Super Time Force, is really close to STFU.
Almost. So the game, when we had to rename the game because of trademark conflicts, like you always do. I feel like everybody's trademarked everything.
Yep.
And when we decided on Super Time Force, it was like a day and a half later or so that someone was like, oh man, we should call the next version Ultra, STFU.
Perfect, you got it.
Boom. So yeah, Super Time Force Ultra is kind of the like version 1.5 of Super Time Force. It came out first on Xbox 360 and Xbox One in May, and now we're bringing it to PC on Steam. And one of the big things that we've done is we looked at the game, we took a whole bunch of time to fix and tweak and stuff, but then we decided to add 50 new levels. And the 50 new levels are this mode that we're calling Helideck. It's the Helideck because it's hella rad, and it's also hella challenging. And what the Helideck is essentially this kind of like training room for the Super Time Force, where you're presented with these like really, almost like challenge-based levels that are all entirely based on catching glorbs. Glorbs are kind of like the amazing collectibles in our game. And all throughout the main game, they're flying around the levels, and you have to figure out how to kind of rewind time and catch them. And so this mode is entirely based around kind of solving puzzles to figure out how to use time travel to collect all of the glorbs.
So explain this puzzle.
Okay, so
how does this work?
Each puzzle is, you get given a certain amount of times that you can rewind time. Okay. You're given a certain group of characters that you can use, and you have to figure out where to put the characters, where to time out and rewind time to, and where to kind of add your characters back in. And so Chris is going to figure out, okay, I need to hit a certain switch, and those certain switches are going to flip doors that are going to let me flip other switches, but he can't collect the glorb. So now he has to figure out how to time out, rewind, and then figure out where to put the second version of himself, so that when his past life does everything, he's going to be in the right position to collect the glorb and, win the level.
Does each puzzle, is there one solution? Is there one way to do it?
There are certain levels that you can do creatively, but there really is kind of almost a set way that's best done it. We've seen people break those, and we're totally down for people break. In fact, that's one of my favorite things about Time Force is watching people use the fact that we're giving you complete control of time to kind of mess around with things. So yeah, there's 50 different levels. Because there's so many characters in the game, some of the levels are entirely themed around specific characters and their abilities. Each character has a primary attack and a secondary attack, and those actually like give you a chance to find interesting ways to mess around with time. Because really the game is, even though it's a run and gun platformer, it's almost a bullet hell style game. It's very traditional in that sense. It's really different in the sense that it is really about using characters' different abilities and time manipulation to almost solve these little micro puzzles. And there's 50 of them. So it's going to provide you a heck of a lot of challenge, a heck of a lot of like extra stuff to do. I really think that the Helideck levels are, it's like distilling this big game into these very specific, deep challenges.
Are you adding leaderboard support in here, like challenges?
Yeah, I mean these now that you're able to play these, they actually fit into the leaderboards.
Okay.
So because a big part of the leaderboards in our game is about how you complete the game, with all the collectibles, all of the different sets of collectibles in the game that feed into your leaderboard. So people who collect more and go faster are going to be at the top of the leaderboard, and this actually feeds into them. So the more glorbs that you collect in this mode, it'll actually affect the other modes.
So it looks like things are getting more complicated. You've got scrolling levels in here.
Oh yeah, for sure. It gets bigger and bigger and crazier and crazier. But they're always really understandable. They're always really, it's a game that you have to spend a bit of time with, and when it clicks, and when you basically learn how to handle the space-time continuum, where you become a rocket scientist, essentially, then the whole game kind of switches over, and you really can pick it up super quickly and you become this time-traveling badass. And I really do think that you can go into the game, you can play the insane craziness of the story mode, or you can play the kind of thoughtful, intense challenge mode. But that's not really all we've added to the game. We've added a whole ton of different stuff. Chris can't hear me talking right now, so he's not even going to know when to switch over to the new stuff. But he's probably going to do it right now. So right now you're in the Space Bus. The Space Bus is kind of the home of Super Time Force. It's their mobile home quarters. And you can see like they have their living areas, they have the like cargo hold, and this is where Commander Rapitsky is going to send you out on your missions. And Chris is going to show you another thing that we've added into the game, which is kind of this strange power-up. Basically, you know what happens when you mess with time?
Everything gets messed up.
Everything gets messed up.
Doesn't ever go well.
And in this case, you've kind of ripped a hole in the dimensions of time.
That was totally Mad Max.
Yeah, it's this. But we'll get sued if you say that. Okay. So it has nothing to do with Mad Max at all.
Maxwell, really angry Maxwell.
It's loosely inspired. Actually, the character that you get in this time period is called Melanie Gibson.
Oh, nice. That's really good.
So you can kind of go through and grab your characters, play through the levels. But another thing that we've added is this kind of whole in time dimensional stuff called the Ultra Force. And the Ultra Force are like the insane, like alternate dimension versions of you. They hit way harder, their bullets are like so much bigger, and when they die, they actually explode and murder everything around them. But you only have a very limited amount of them. Okay. So they're kind of like this like ultra ability, this ultra power up that you can use in a specific time. And if you screw up with them and don't get to use them in the exact right moment, you've wasted them. But if you use the characters to collect the glorbs, which provide you like a one-up, then you actually get a one-up of that power-up. So it's almost like an exhaustible resource of ultra-powerful, badass versions of your characters.
Nice.
And as you save characters in the regular mode, like the regular characters, you also get access to their ultra power, their ultra force versions. So every character in the game has this ultra power up, and they're really, really, really strong.
Nice.
But you don't get access to them until you complete the game.
Oh, okay. All right.
So what it's going to do is it's going to kind of provide players who are really familiar with Super Time Force a different way of thinking about the game, a different way of playing the game, because they are so powerful. If you're going to go for a speed run and try to get all the lookers who are the kind of hidden speedrun characters in the game, massive spoiler, everyone out there, if you haven't played the game, just don't listen to that part. But they're going to change the entire way that you approach the game, because you can actually use their deaths as a weapon.
Sure.
And they're also, everything, like every one of their attacks is way bigger, there's way more of them. So this is the Ultra Force Zachosaurus, the skateboard riding dinosaur who shoots acid. And instead of his acid shots being these small little things, you can see how much of the world they're actually covering. And those all do area of effect damage, so any enemy that walks over them is going to get damage. We've also gone through the game and added new characters. We're not going to reveal exactly what those new characters are.
Okay.
But there were 16 characters in the original game, and we've added another 3 characters, brand new characters, brand new abilities. They tie into something that we're super excited about and super proud of, and it's going to be really crazy. So all of this together, the 50 new levels, the brand new crazy power-up modes, and new characters, this is on top of us going through and making a lot of tweaks to the game, and really listening to player feedback and trying to find those little tweaks and those little moments that rub players the right way, or on the other side, find those things that they loved and kind of try to dial that up to 11 a little bit.
Sure.
So, I mean, for us, it was a great chance to go back to, I mean, we loved making this game. We had so much bloody fun making this game, and now it's kind of given us a chance to, like, not only add more of the things that we love about the game, but also, like, spend more time with it and play more of it, which is, for us, it's kind of hard to stop playing the game because we love the way that it feels, and we love messing around with it, and we love the jokes. And so Time Force Ultra has given us a chance to spend more time with the game and craft an experience for Steam that we think is like really the ultra version.
Sure. So, is there any chance that the ultra content can come to Xbox?
Yeah, it's not going to be right away, but we're definitely not going to ignore all of the fans that have picked it up on Xbox One. Those are, we've been really, really surprised and overwhelmed by how intensely people got it. Like, the people who love this game on Xbox One and Xbox 360, man, they went crazy. There are some people that are so much better than at the game than we are that it's not even funny. Actually, one of the guys at Drinkbox, the guys who make Rocket Relay, is probably the best Time Force player I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, oh yeah. He tried to beat the game blindfolded on Drinkbox's live stream.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's definitely something that we're not going to ignore, and it's definitely something that, I mean, it's not going to be right away because we're not really big enough to handle all this stuff all at once. It's a lot of moving pieces, but I mean, we'll not leave you guys stranded. And all of this stuff is coming really, really soon.
Yeah, would you like to share that information right now?
Yeah, we're Super Time Force Ultra will be hitting PC on August 25th.
There you go. That's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It's going to be the exact same price as it was on Xbox One, so we're adding in like 50 levels and new characters and new content, and it's still $15.
You can't afford not to buy it.
Yeah, and also the soundtrack is done by our friend 6955, aka Jason the Groot, and the soundtrack is like 52 crazy, weird chiptunes, moody things. And you can actually grab a version of the game with the soundtrack as well on Steam, which we're super excited about because we can, I pump that soundtrack like crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's 2 weeks until this game will hit. It's 2 weeks till you get to find out what the new characters are.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you to hold that back till release.
We'll tell people before release, but I don't know. We're just kind of like we're a bit too excited about it to hold it back too much longer. But they're hilarious and awesome.
Yeah.
And it's more ways, like each character in this game provides you a different way to do ridiculously stupid stuff. And so we're just ratcheting up the ridiculously stupid to like 15 13 characters as well.
New characters, can you play them right from the beginning?
Like almost every character in the game, you have to unlock.
Okay.
The new characters, one of them you'll get really early because they're hilarious and amazing. And then the other new characters, like everybody else, will be unlocked either through progression or through collection. So like there are characters in the game that you get from like getting 50% of all of the globes in the entire game. So there'll be some of the characters that unlock that way as well. But they're not going to be the hardest characters to get, that's for sure. You'll be able to get them pretty darn early in the game because we can't hold it back. We're a little bit too excited about it to do that.
Nathan, while I have you here, I want to ask you more of a serious question. You guys make independent games.
We do.
Fantastic independent games. What do you make of the recent backlash against independent games from some gamers? It's like I don't understand it myself.
But here's the thing, we don't have to understand it. That's
the
thing that I really like about the kind of like growth in video game culture is that there's so much stuff out there now that there's enough stuff that people can just not like stuff and have still so much more. I mean, personally, I think they're missing out on some of the most interesting and unique and passionate projects out there. But like, let's face it, like we are not in control of what people like, and what people like is and as long as they're not doing it just to be a-holes. That's the only thing.
Some of them are.
Just to be reactionary and contrarian. But whatever. I mean, the way that I look at the games that we make and the games that whether it's independent or AAA is like we need to find the people that care about the stuff that we like, and we need to foster that. We need to treat them with respect, and we need to make sure that the games that we're making are for the people that care about them, not the people that don't. And to me, like, again, I really do think that you're genuinely missing out on some of the most. Hohokum is one of my favorite games of forever. You guys gave it a great review, and I'm really happy for it. Anybody who hasn't seen Hohokum, check out the IGN review because it will totally sell you on that game, rightfully so. But that game, like missing out on Hohokum, missing out on Ghostly's soundtrack and of like the beautiful craftsmanship of that game, I think it's a real shame. And I think there's like thousands of other games in that category that you're going to miss it out on. But at the same time, I'm not going to tell anyone what they should like.
Well, sure. Yeah, there is that. I just think it's unfortunate to judge a game based on its budget or the its team rather than on whether it's fun.
I mean, that's the way I look at things too. But hey, we live in the era of the internet commenter, and you get two choices. Yeah, you live with it, or you get really peeved. So I do think like for us, Time Force Ultra is a game that like, if you love Contra, this is like the insane version of it. If you love Gunstar Heroes, these are all things that meant a ton to us as gamers. And we're not trying to like, we're not playing a nostalgia card. It's not just like, oh hey, like this is Contra 2.0. It's not at all. But there are things that we all loved growing up, and a piece of that is in those games, I think. And I think it's us taking our take on that kind of those things that they broke down the barriers for, and that's really exciting to me. And I really do hope that like even if you played Time Force on 360 or Xbox One, I hope you can check it out on Steam. It's crazy. We're so, like, I am personally so excited about the Helideck Challenge mode. Because it's like taking the game and blowing it out in such an alternate way. And we do have a weird history of making games that have puzzle modes in them.
I know, well, like
Critter Crunch had it,
Clash of Heroes.
Clash of Heroes had it,
I mean,
now Time Force has it. We gotta figure out a way to shoehorn it into sorcery somehow.
Yeah, for sure. It's out August 25th.
August 25th. And we'll have a ton more info about the game. There's a lot of stuff that we're really excited to share, and we're really excited to have way more crazy pixel art and way more explosions and way more jokes and way more dinosaurs riding skateboards and dolphins with machine guns and.
So you ship this game. You've got Below also that you're working on.
Yes.
What's next? Is there any, like what's going to be their focus?
To be totally honest,
you don't know yet?
There's a lot of things we're talking about, but we don't even really know. We decided like we're gonna focus on Below. We're gonna make it the best thing we can. We're gonna focus on making Time Force Ultra like the real Ultra version of this game. We'll figure out the next stuff later.
Sure.
We got to really make sure that again we're really
You guys, do you have a favorite game that you've made, or is it like your children, where you can't pick a favorite?
Yeah, it's definitely like children, except those children, you kind of also hate them at the same time because of the hell they put you through. It's like this balance of it. No, I mean, I have a special spot in my heart for Critter Crunch because it was really the first independent game that we made. That it's what really took us into like what Cappy is now. But yeah, I find it really hard. Every game that we make at the time is my favorite game. When we were making Time Force, I was just like, gosh darn it, I love this thing. So that was the most non-answer answer I could possibly give you.
All right, Nathan, it's always a pleasure.
Can I stay? Do I have to leave? I figure.
No,
like,
feel free to stay. I know it's.
We'll just. What are you guys doing next? Do you want to do a demo of Evolve? I'll talk over Evolve. You want?
Yeah, we're gonna bring Evolve on here.
Okay, cool. So I'll just do that. They won't mind. Turtle Rock's cool.
Nathan, thanks so much.
Cheers a lot. Thanks a lot for having me. Thanks a lot, everybody. Keep it locked on IGN, folks.
Well, you got it. You got it.
It's basically like every time I'm on IGN, somebody says keep it locked.
Yeah, but it's keep it
locked.
locked.
I did it this time.
Keep it locked. And what's up, everybody?
Yeah.
That's how you start every video. So it's cool. Stay tuned. Lots more to come from IGN Live at Gamescom, brought to you by Dead Island 2. Right after these messages.